Everyone, if you watch my last video and if you've been watching any of my other videos, as you know, I am working on I currently have a 1983 case that's uh in a stay in the Circuit of Appeals, the Federal United States Court of Appeals. But I am working on a second 1983 that's kind of separate set of um like all new actors, more violating my rights. Eventually I will be able to break down like all of the cases, the laws that were broken as I see them, the case law and statutes that are on my side, federal and state, and also within um, that appeal circuit, because they all rule differently. Um, so I am working on my demand letter. I had to pull a bunch of people in. I think I'm going to have more defendants. I had 22 in the first one, and that's because if anybody really, really, really knows what goes on in CPS, especially when they really have it out for you, when they really want your kids, when they really want to adopt them. They all begin a conspiracy, and generally that conspiracy is to violate your rights and defraud the government. And if you're not aware of that, watch my videos. Continue to watch my videos. By all means, subscribe, whatever. My videos. I'm not a lawyer. I am. I have been researching for many years. I used to work as an office manager, um, and I had to do a lot of and I just learned how to really research very well. I'm able to research laws and statutes and everything very well. And I also got a degree in paralegal studies to help me with that too. And I'm going. If those who watch knows that. I'll be going to law school in a few weeks if I'm still waiting to hear back from three schools. Or I'll just go study my LSAT. I didn't do my LSAT. I did my GRE, and I just applied to schools that allowed the GRE. A lot more schools allow the LSAT. I'll just study it up. And if I don't get in this year, then I'll get in next year with maybe full ride scholarships. Well, I graduated with honors. Um, so I had a pretty good GPA. Making this quick, as I mentioned in my last video, my husband and I on Sundays take one of our dogs for a ride through our mountains, back roads, and then we go grab a bite to eat, Burger King, McDonald's, whatever. Today we'll be taking Elsa. She does not like McDonald's French fries. She loves their burgers. She doesn't like their French fries. So, my husband loves fried fish, so we're gonna go to Long John Silver's and get some fish and some chicken and stuff like that. Okay. But so I got to make this one quick because shoot, they want I told my husband we were leaving at 5:30 and it's 5:26. So I will try and get this done and over and try and read it. So, my first case and one of my defendants was the head of DCF. Okay. So, I was the head of DCF, and after I did that, she left and got sent to another department, which all this mix up and stuff, it's the governor, runny boy, trying to, mix that up so these people can't be shown responsible. The other one, I got to read up on it. I'm not quite sure. But the head of DCF Florida, she resigned, quickly just resigned. She hadn't even been that long. Like I said, they right now don't have anyone. So, and I don't have a problem, suing everyone, that's in some high authority in DCF. Now some of these people may have what I think may be the right qualifications for their position. Some of them aren't. And I think you may all realize, as I've complained before, that back in the day in the 90s when I had extensive experience with CPS, DCF, DSS, DYC, whatever it's called in your town, your state, the people that come and yank your kids, whatever you call them. Okay. Most of them, it's like the McDonald's way. You start sweeping the floors, then you make your way to the counter, and then you make your way to the, headset taking orders, and then you make your way to like a supervisor or not like a night supervisor. Then you make your way to this kind of manager, and then you make your way to assistant manager, and then you make your way to the manager of the store. Like they rarely, in a given store, it's really anyone with like master's degrees, and they don't pay enough. It's just like that ladder in a lot of places. You just stay, you're there long enough, and the people who didn't run for a better job or better experience and work their way up. Okay, you're the last one standing, and we need someone to fill this supervisor position. Here you go. Same thing with Walmart. I worked in the office there for a little bit. That place is messed up too. You start here, you work there, you work there, you work there. Eventually, you're the store manager with like zero experience in management or minimum. Anyways, I'm going to quickly be these people. These people are going to be in my, uh, you know, they're going to be in my demand letter and in my lawsuit unless they go bye-bye. All right, Catherine Williams, Deputy Secretary. Catherine Kate Williams serves as the Deputy Secretary for the Florida Department of Children and Families. I believe she's the one that's the interim head right now. I'm not sure. In this role, Ms. Williams, she provides operational policy leadership across the departments. Who wrote this? In this role, Ms. Williams, she provides. Shouldn't it be Miss Williams provides? I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know. I used to be really good in English and not so well anymore. Okay. Provides operational and policy leadership across the department's key statewide programs, including child and family well being, economic self sufficiency, substance abuse, and mental health, quality and innovation, and community services. That's kind of a lot in there. Like, I'm going to get to what her qualifications is. Well, I mean, economic, substance abuse, and mental health. Those are all like, I really hope that if she's dealing with substance abuse and mental health, hope she has some psychology degrees in there. Let's see. Ensuring that Florida's families are effectively connected to the services and supports they need to thrive. I really hope she has some mental health experience. I mean, you really should know. Okay. As Assistant Secretary of the Office of Children and Family Well-Being, Ms. Williams led statewide prevention and diversion strategies that brought Florida to a 20-year low in children entering out of home care, while overseeing major systems reforms, including the transition of several. Now, remember, they lie about everything. They lie about statistics. Um, and then children keep dying. They say, "Ooh, we got to fix this," but yet they sit there and they have all these kudos under this person. Let's see. Several community-based care lead agencies, technology modernization projects with and the integration of child protective investigations from sheriff offices into department. With over 18 years of state government experience, Ms. Williams brings proven leadership in managing multi-billion-dollar budgets, directing multi-million-dollar contracts, and advancing key legislative priorities. Her efforts have driven the launch and expansion of transformative initiatives such as family navigation, behavioral health consultants, and the child welfare safety model. Now, listen, a lot of times when they say they've been there for 18 years, a lot of that time, that 18 years, isn't in a training you in mental health or financing or any kind of thing. Ms. Williams holds a Master's of Science in Criminal Justice and a Bachelor's of Arts in criminal justice and psychology from the University of North Florida. And Ms. Williams maintains her certification as a child protective investigator. Almost bottom of the ladder in the hierarchy of everything. They're one of the lowest people in there is the investigators. All right, well, she does have some psychology, but how much? But like, how does her criminal justice? She's got a master's of science in criminal justice and a bachelor of arts in criminal justice and psychology. How does that lead her to head DCF? I don't understand. How does that lead her to head that? Whoa! Oh, because we have to treat the parents like they're criminals. Let's find ways to treat the parents like they're criminals. Thanks. Thanks. I don't know where the peanut gallery yelled that out. The next one, Catherine Whitehurst Carbone, Chief of Staff. Catherine Whitehurst Carbone currently serves as the Chief of Staff at the Florida Department of Children and Families, DCF. Throughout her professional career, Ms. Carbone has demonstrated a steadfast commitment. Oh, anyways, what's the University of North Florida? Is that one of those like lowest of the bottom tiers of school? Probably. Oh, and by the way, you'll almost never see anyone outside of a Florida school signed as a judge or assigned in any of these roles with DCF. It's all the kindergarten. Most of them are kindergarten all the way up to their degrees. Straight Florida education. Now, I was educated more in Massachusetts beyond high school. And I know I got an excellent education. I know I did. I know. Um, Florida's not one of the best states with education. They can sit there and think they are. They can sit there and call it they are. They're not. I can literally say that the state I was educated in usually lands in the top 5 of the most educated, best education you can get states. Everyone's running like Florida is eventually going to implode because you've got everybody from Florida running it, and these people are halfwits. Catherine Whitehurst, and I will show you like other stupid stuff they do. Like they're lazy, they're incompetent, and I'll show you that later. They just go by corruption and a judge rubber stamping the idiocy. Sorry, that movie is wonderful. And their incompetence. They just rubber stamp. It doesn't matter if they're lying and it can be proved they're lying. It doesn't care. You just gotta judge rubber stamps everything. That's why you gotta get rid of judicial immunity. No one's a god. All immunity. No one's a god. All right. She currently serves as Chief of Staff at the Florida Department of Children and Families. Throughout her professional career, Ms. Carbone has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to serving vulnerable Floridians and ensuring the systems created to support them are achieving those goals. That was my slip of the tongue, not some idiot typed it up wrong like the other one. Prior to assuming her current role, Ms. Carbone served as the Deputy Director at the Agency for Persons with Disabilities. In this role, Ms. Carbone oversaw the agency's client-facing operations and programs, including all regional operations, applications, eligibility, and enrollment processes, provider development and monitoring, and project management. Ms. Carbone worked alongside agency leadership to ensure APD was a sought-after resource and navigated for Floridians with disabilities. Through her work, Ms. Carbone sought to enrich the experience for individuals and families through efficient and meaningful service delivery to achieve greater program effectiveness and ensure a systematic approach towards transparency and accountability to achieve quality and operational excellence. I swear these people have like these really great fluffer resume writers. The ones that can turn like uh working as a desk agent in a hotel into like an assistant for oh gosh, Bad Bunny. You know what I mean? You might have just like checked him in one day and now you become his assistant your whole. Prior to joining the APD team, Ms. Carbone served as staff director at DCF, providing direct support to the deputy secretary, assistant secretaries, and leadership teams across the agency, remove barriers, implement key strategies, and achieve DCF goals. Before that, Ms. Carbone served as the director of partnerships and external affairs within the Office of Economic Self-Sufficiency. In this role, Ms. Carbone oversaw and maintained local community-based partnership throughout the state of Florida and ensured the timely and effective resolution of sensitive and public-facing issues, including interagency coordination on response to external stakeholders. Ms. Carbone experience expands in both the private and public sectors, including positions with the Southern Group of Florida, the Florida Chamber of Commerce, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, the American Enterprise Institute, and the U.S. House of Representatives. Proud Florida native, no, and graduate of the University of Florida, Ms. Carbone enjoys spending time with her family and remains deeply committed to public service. What's her degree? Art history? Brooke Bass, Assistant Secretary, Office of Child and Family Well-Being. Brooke Bass serves as the Assistant Secretary. Now, these are the highest up people. You can look it up. Brooke Bass serves as Assistant Secretary to the Office of Child and Family Well-Being at the Florida Department of Children and Families, where Ms. Bass provides executive leadership for Florida's child welfare system, overseeing statewide efforts to protect vulnerable children, strengthen families, and improve outcomes for children and youth across the continuum of care. I really want to see if this one's got a doctorate or something. I really hope she does, because she handles vulnerable children. She's supposed to strengthen families and improve outcomes for children and youth across the continuum of care. In this role, Ms. Bass oversees child welfare operations, and leads the development and implementation of child welfare policy and practice, guiding initiatives focused on child protection, prevention and family preservation, foster care, permanency, adoption, independent living services, and quality improvement, working in partnership with community-based care lead agencies, the judiciary, tribal partners, systems of care providers, other state agencies, and community stakeholders. Ms. Bass is committed to ensuring the Florida children welfare system promotes child safety, timely permanency, and family well-being. With more than 22 years of experience in child welfare and public service, and almost 20 years at the Florida Department of Children and Families, Ms. Bass formerly served as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Operations, as well as the statewide Director of Child Protective Investigations, and has held leadership positions in program operations, strategic planning, policy development, and systems improvement. Throughout her career, Ms. Bass has championed innovative, data-informed approaches that strengthen services for children and families while fostering collaboration across government agencies, private entities, and community partners. All right, let's see what her degrees are. Isn't that McDonald's way? Under Ms. Bass' leadership, the Office of Children and Families Wellbeing continued to advance initiatives that enhance preventative services, support family stability, improve child welfare practice, modernize service delivery, and strengthen accountability throughout Florida's child welfare system. Ms. Bass is dedicated to cultivating a high-performing workforce and building strong partnerships that support the department's mission of protecting the vulnerable, promoting strong and economic self-sufficient families, and advancing personal and family recovery. Blah blah blah. I don't see a damn degree. I don't see a damn degree. And she's had a lot of high positions in DCF in 20 years. I don't see any degrees. I don't know if any of you remember back in the day, not that long ago, a little bit ago. I don't know, 3, 5, 6. I don't know how long ago. There was this doctor that was, saying all these parents were abusing their kids, and she was lying about it. This was a doctor that they used to remove children. But no one with a doctorate, no one with a fucking doctorate runs DCF, you fuckers. Not a single one of you. Not a single fucking one of you has a doctorate in child psychology, you losers. No, because DeSantis is a piece of garbage that doesn't care. Doesn't care who runs this Mickey Mouse sham thing. And I'm not even going to read any more of this because it's just pissing me the F off. Just pissing me off. There is no one with a doctorate running this agency. You're just going to pull people out. I wasn't, like, one of them still holds their thing to be an investigator. They just keep working their way up. The more evil they do, the more money they make for the agency. That's their reward. It's fraud. Fraud. All right, I'm going to go have a good night with my dog and my husband. I can't read anymore. There's a few more in this that I'm suing. Lawsuits is what it's going to take to bring these down. Lawsuit is what it's going to take to bring these people down. I'm sorry I'm getting angry. I'm really, really sorry I'm getting angry because I was mentored. Now, I by far would never, ever get a job in one of these places because I'm not qualified. And I was mentored by a Harvard professor. And he also it was also a man that handled some big, major um trauma for the state. Trauma agencies for the state. Like, I think his agency, when he ran it, this was back in, I don't remember the year, but it was when the plane of dear JFK Jr., right? Not RFK. JFK Jr. When his son's plane went down, I actually lived in I think I lived in Plymouth at the time or on the Cape or something. And I was in my father's pool. My father had a really nice place. Uh and I was in his pool with my kids. It was, I don't know, July or something like that. I don't know if it was quite around July 4th weekend or something. I don't know. But I remember seeing the research helicopters because it's so close to the Cape. I mean, those who know Florida, Florida, Plymouth. No, it's a pretty big, big, big area. But in the scheme of things, Cape Cod and the islands aren't very far from it. But I do remember like the helicopters and the other planes that they were doing the search and rescue. I remember watching them. I was at my dad's house that day. But I don't even remember what got me on this. I'm sorry, people. I don't remember what got me on. Oh, I believe at that time, my mentor was handling that trauma for the family and friends and everything of that back then. So he's highly experienced and he mentored me, but never would I sit there and say, the 5 years or whatever, however long that he mentored me, but I could parlay that into any kind of mental health situation. Criminal justice people are running DCF. What the fudgy fudge? I don't know. I don't know. I know some people don't believe in education. I will 100% believe in education. Like, I really loved getting a degree, not because I just want to go to law school. I learned so much stuff. I mean, I really did. I mean, I took an astronomy class. I named one of my dogs after a blue star. He's a blue Doberman. I named him after a blue star. You know, I learned, a lot of stuff. I learned more about psychology and I just really learned a lot. So, all right. So I'm just like, it's just, there aren't right people in right positions in DCF, right? Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? You can't, you know what I mean? You can't sit there and say, I know how to cook fries and I know how to cook a burger, so now let me run the books. No, no. And I do know like people get training and stuff like that. But if you're going to deal with the psychology of children, get, get a PhD. Learn the psychology of children. Learn how to fix these problems. Don't throw money. Don't stop throwing money at uneducated or improperly educated and trained people. I mean, this is Florida. Do you really think that that's the best education and the best training out there? No. And they're all just as corrupt as can be. I will be showing proof of everything down the road. It is my goal to dismantle the Florida DCF brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. People put in jail, get people sued, get people fired. That's my job. That's my job. That's my job. All right. So thanks for watching. Please remember all of my videos. I'm pro se litigant. I'm not a lawyer. And it's for information, whatever you want to do, or if you want to take an education. I'm not a teacher, but if you think it's educational, great. Or entertainment. Hi, you can laugh at me. I know I ain't a pretty thing. Look at this ugly girl that comes on and yells and gets mad and angry. I do get angry because our children are dying because our governor don't care he puts in charge of children that are ripping them out of home. They don't care. He don't care. He doesn't give a shit. Lucky for Florida, he'll be gone, but they'll just put another monkey in there. And, and I would think DeSantis has a brain of the schools he went to, but it's just money, 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 money. How can we destroy? How can we keep bringing in? Can we get more child product? Our children are not product. The children have rights. They're not chattel. And they have rights. Remember that. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon as I come up with important things to talk about. Have a good one. I'm going to go and I'm going to go hang out with my family, my puppy families. All right.